A minute to catch up. All good to go. Just double check that the stream has started. Bit of a lag. Oh, there we go. Hi everybody. Welcome to the very first 1883 Club Startup Helpdesk. One of our regular series of events, part of the 1883 Club. Thanks to all those that are joining us here on AirMeet, that are members. Thank you also to those joining us over on YouTube. What I'm going to do is I'm first going to give a little bit of an introduction about 1883 for those of you who want to know more, and then we'll get on with the show and pass over to Bart. So I am just going to share my screen very quickly. One of the screens, because I've got two screens. There we go. There we go. I can use my second screen actually to then make sure that all of you guys, have got the slides and you have perfectly. So, again, as I said, welcome to those of you who are new to Birmingham Enterprise Community. We are an organisation that helps a broad range of entrepreneurs across many sectors and across many sizes and scales. So whether you are just starting out in your first steps into entrepreneurship, or whether you're going kind of through that high growth stage, that scaling stage, there's something that we can offer you in terms of support and in terms of access to one of the fastest growing entrepreneur communities in the UK. We are so delighted to be kicking off the 1883 Club this month, our fantastic new membership offering, which really allows people to be an ongoing, active part of this amazing community, to take plenty of opportunities to expand your network, grow your knowledge, and really make things happen. Over the past 2 years that we've been running, as you can see from here, we've run a huge variety of events. And what 1883 does is really give you an opportunity to get even closer to the action. We will have a series of 2 regular monthly events. So the first one on the first Thursday of every month, we will have our Startup Helpdesk event, which, as you'll see today, is your source and connection to an expert in a particular topic who will run you through kind of the essentials you need to know as an entrepreneur. That event will be divided up into 2. So the first 30 minutes, as we're doing now, will be the talk and the value from the expert. And then what we will do is for our members who are over on the AirMeet platform with us, we'll break into a Q&A section and then a networking session. For those of you over on YouTube now thinking, I want to be as part of that and I want to be part of the action, in a minute I'm going to tell you how you can join in and be part of that. Second regular event that we run every month is our monthly member network session, which is the purely members only event where we'll be facilitating networking, and really giving your people a chance to meet the people they need to know. We're really excited that we're going to be pairing with some of the kind of UK's most energetic and exciting entrepreneur communities to do that. So it's not just a case of our members just meeting members in our own network, but you'll be meeting other networks as well, to really open up your network and expand your horizons. And then the third event that we'll be running is once a quarter. We'll be running a venture pitch event, which essentially is like an open mic night. So whether you have just come up with an idea and you want to share it with a group for the first time, or whether you're practicing for something like Bart's Bull Ring, the venture pitch showcase will be your opportunity to get on stage, to practice your pitch and receive feedback from everybody there. In terms of today, as I said, I'm going to be passing over to Bart soon to take us through some insight from his book, True Gravity, which we're really excited to hear about. Obviously, we'll be doing the first half an hour on here, and then for the members, we'll be doing a kind of Q&A with Bart afterwards. Next month, we have Jimmy Leach, who will be doing a session on PR, a view from the editor's desk. So Jimmy has a huge wealth of experience working for governments, working for some of the world's leading publications like the Huffington Post. So we're really excited to have Jimmy with us on the first Thursday of March. So just very quickly, as I said, I would stop sharing my screen first. I would share with you guys how you can get involved, how you can be a part of that conversation and be a part of those amazing networking opportunities. If you head over to our website, have a look at on the top bar and press what we do. So on birminghaменterprisecommunity.co.uk, you can check out the 1883 Club. You can join up. You can sign up today. And you will then unlock all those benefits. So we'll send you over a members welcome pack, which will give you access to a virtual community and all the resources to join in that extra fun. Any questions, any comments, get in touch with us on social media. Get in touch with us by email, hello@birminghaменterprisecommunity.uk. We can't welcome you to 80. Can't speak today. We can't wait to welcome you to 1883. There we go. I got it out. That's all I'm going to say for now. I'm going to hand over to Bart, who is going to give you some awesome insight into his book, True Gravity. Over to you, Bart.
Cool. Daniel, actually, if you'll hang around, I think we got Alex here too. I want to make sure that this isn't just about me preaching from the sermon. So I want you to kind of give me some questions as we go along here, because it's more fun that way instead of me just talking to a computer. True Gravity is the book that I wrote to measure your networking, what happens. So you give a lot of stuff out to your network. You start to create a network. You might not even have anything that you can give out. You don't have contacts. You don't have business. You can't give out free information. You can't do any of this stuff. So all we have in our world, and I call it ETF, energy, time, and focus. That's your circle. So if you have lots of focuses, you have very little time or energy. If you have very focused, you have lots of time and energy. So you have this three things that could fit in this big circle, and all you have is this circle. So the more time you're focused on, so let's say you sell to startups, scale-ups, big companies, OEMs. You have 17 different focuses. All those focuses take up this, and you don't have enough time to dedicate to each of those. In 2007, or in 2002, I came over to the UK as part of a global expansion of a financial advice company. And in 2007, kind of decided to stay here. And in 2009, my firm in the global financial crisis decided to go back home. So you can tell that I'm not from Birmingham originally, now transplanted Brummie. But at that point in time, I had helped people retire, sell their business, find new jobs, find their kids jobs, done all this stuff. And I had to set up on my own. And I sent it out there to my LinkedIn contacts, which I had about 1,300. I had people in the business community that I'd helped do all this stuff. And I said, guys, I need help. I'm starting up my own business. I need to do this. And there were crickets. Kind of like right now, everybody's at that stage in their business where they're either thriving, surviving, or dead. They're just kind of at that stage. And they were in the global financial crisis. People were worried about their business, their money, their kids, their jobs, all these different things. So I had to sit back and retrospectively think, was it me? Did I upset people? Was it them? Was it my message? Was it there had to be some sort of mechanical, mathematical thing that I could do to not seem like a real mean guy for cutting somebody out of my network. But I only have this much energy, time, and focus. So I need to sit back and hone all of that information. I'm a big fan of threes. So I knew that I could only truly probably have 3 close business friends because I don't have time. So if you figure it out this way, and I write it in the book, is that you have 4 weekends in a month. You probably have 1 for Daniel, 1 for Amran, 1 for Alex, and then I need to have 1 for the family or they'll disown me. So I can only have 3 business friends to be able to do that. So it's not only your time, but it's also your energy. And your energy is your money, the referrals that you can give to them, the cross-referring, all that stuff. There's only so much energy I can deploy. So if I have 18 different people that I consider my closest business friends, and Daniel brings me a referral, I'll probably give something back to Daniel, but then Alex loses out, or Amran loses out. So you can only have so many people that you can give stuff out to. So when you start to build what I call syzygy, Syzygy is the gravitational pull that's created from one celestial body on another celestial body. So I call it true gravity because you're trying to pull people in from further afield than just Daniel, Amron, and Alex. I want Daniel, Amron, and Alex to create some true gravity, some syzygy for me. Go out there and tell my story to these guys. And when they tell it to these guys, guess what? These other guys will hear about that. So they'll start to say, oh, I heard about that bull ring, or I heard about that book. And they'll say, oh, yeah, I met that guy at the 1883 club. Oh, cool. So I'm getting pulled a little bit closer. But I only have to focus my efforts, true efforts, on Alex, Amron, and Daniel. Because then they'll tell their 3 friends, or their other 2 friends, or whatever else it is, and they start to create this true gravity, this pull that doesn't have to actually come directly from me. It's gravitational pull of other business bodies. And that's why when you have something like the 1883 Club, and this is why we're doing this, is it's really hard to network right now. It's really hard to meet people. It's really hard to get that story starting to be built, especially if you're a startup, especially if you're just starting to sell and create a community of your own. So to create that, you need to be selfish. You need to figure out how you, as a business owner, can tell a story. Simon Sinek talks about it as your why. So if my why, which it is to create lazy overachievers, because if I told Daniel that, Daniel, you could do 5 press-ups and you could be fit, but I told Alex you had to do 50 press-ups to be fit, I don't know which one you'd want to do, but I'd probably want to have the same outcome from a lot less work. And everybody likes to work hard, so they say, oh, I don't want to be called lazy overachiever, so lazy sounds horrible, but nobody wants to work harder for the same outcome. If you do, then you've got a special little mental block going on, and you need to work on that. But when you're building the story, the reason you start to create true gravity is my story, just like we talk about here with BEC, is the same or similar to Daniel's story. It's similar to Amron's story. It's similar to Alex's story. We might all have a little different version of it, but that is around helping entrepreneurs get to their next level. We might do it in different ways, but our story is unified. And so you need to create your story that unifies with other people's stories. Mm-hmm. And that's how you start to create this true gravity, this story, this syzygy, this thing that says outside of the BEC community, they say, oh, I've heard about BEC, but then I've also heard about Amron. I've also heard about Daniel. I've also heard about Alex. I've heard about BD. And they start to say, oh, well, I heard they're telling this story together and they could help startups. So you have to start to consider that in your world. But here's something I'm going to tell you that people don't like to hear, is that about every 2 to 3 years, you're going to change your planets, and that's okay. You're going to move on, because either they're going to get bigger and have bigger clients or different clients. Their life's going to change and they might need to go get employed. They could still be your friend and not have to be one of your primary planets. Or you're going to grow way outside of their scope. So now you're talking to Nestle and Boeing and all this stuff, and they're still talking to the 3-man band down the street. So just because you're moving away from each other doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. And this is one of the things I tell you in the book, is it's how to break up. It's not me, it's you. It's not you, it's me. There's ways that you can move out of that zone. But we have to go back to a similar story that's repeated, that then starts to spread itself out into the business universe. But it all has to come back to that selfishness, which we don't like to say. We all like to say we're selfless. You have to be selfish first to then get other people engaged. So that's the premise of it. So I want to hand it back over to Daniel to ask a question, or Alex to ask a question, because I don't want to just talk. I think there's something in the chat, but
yeah, I mean, where'd you start? There's so many things to ask. That was awesome. I'm gonna leave that question for a moment that Alex has asked, but I'm gonna ask something of my own in terms of starting off then. So those planets, those people that you pick,
Yes.
how do you find those people, and how do you know that they're the right people at that time?
It's great. So in my process, I started to go through and say, okay, Daniel, tell me your story. Alex, so you have to kiss frogs. You can kind of meet them at a BNI, or you can meet them at 1883, or you can meet them at a chamber function or at a E4F, whatever's out there. You can meet them there, but then you have to come back in together and start to say, okay, well, currently my ideal client looks like this. What does your ideal client look like? And if they say anybody that's rich and could give me money in this, they might not have your same ethos. So you need to start asking them why they do what they do, who they want to do it for, and what they want the outcome to be for that client. If it's just to make lots of money and yours is to make lots of money, perfect. If it's to change the world in a green manner using ethical this, and that's your story too, brilliant. So you really have to start to figure out what you want to be, and then you have to figure out what they want their ideal client to look like. That's where you have to come. That story has to come together, is where is that ideal client going together, because that's the message you're going to send out into the business universe to then create that syzygy, that true gravity that pulls that right type of business in from all those asteroids that are out there in the business LinkedIn connected world. So you have to get that story right, test out their story, and see if it matches up with your story and your ideal client.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So what Alex asked is there a right or wrong way to maintain business relationships that you have left?
It depends on what you can give somebody. I just went through my LinkedIn contacts. I had 2,300, and I'm not a LinkedIn open networker. I'm not a lion, so I don't take on everybody. But I went back through them, and I'm sorry if you're listening to this and you were a connection and you're not anymore. If I can't remember where we met, if I can't remember how I would refer to you, if I can't remember what and the stuff that you're putting out doesn't fill my energy tanks right now, you're probably not a connection anymore. And it's not mean. I just only have so much energy, time, and focus. So I either keep them out as asteroids, which are my LinkedIn connections in the wider world, or as my secondary planets, if I really want to bring them in and keep them in contact. And I walk through all these contact strategies that I have, and I don't have time today, but my main planets, my primary planets, I talk to weekly, if not daily. I have some sort of communication with them. Secondary planets, probably quarterly, and I have three primary, and then secondary I probably have 8, and then asteroids and other celestial bodies, I have lots and lots of those. But that's just kind of my noise from my podcast, from my books, from that. The reason I wrote the books is not a vanity project. It's because people would ask me, like we're on right now, how do you measure your networking? How do you do this? How do you maintain and how do you create the relationships that you have? I just say, I could tell you everything, but I just wrote the book. So it's not a big, huge moneymaker. Most people do not make money off of books. There's so many business books written every year. So it is pretty much just an easy way for me to give this away instead of having to have hundreds of 1-hour coffees. Am I okay on the connection?
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on then. I think I've
It's a little bit wonky, so hopefully it's not too bad.
That's okay. I think
but you really need to build that story. You need to build that focus. And the other people, you don't have enough resource to get information out to them, business out to them, anything else. So you don't have to focus on that. Focus on the people that really, really matter and want to change your clients' lives and your life.
100%. I think that's super important. So in terms of how you recommend people get an understanding of where that is, would you recommend them actually literally mapping that out and having those different types and saying, right, okay, write them down. Who are they? Identify them.
So, very, very much so. I'm a I write my books like I like to read books. Some things, so I've got chapters that are full of words. I've got worksheets that you can actually apply, and I've got summaries. Every one of my books is written exactly like that. So I consume it in lots of different ways. Sometimes I really need to go in depth, so I need the words, I need the story and the heart behind it. Sometimes I just tell me how to do it. So just give me the summary and tell me how to do it. And I always believe that you need to do worksheets. And I've got the Primary Planets worksheet actually walks through these questions. So could this person help you towards your goal? Do they appear to have similar types of clients? Do they have the right level of energy? Because as you can tell, I'm fairly driven and focused and pushing all the time. So if somebody's kind of going plateau business and they're bumping into me, I'm going to either run them over, kick them off, or get rid of them quickly. And then how would you best would you refer your best client to them? Ask yourself this: would you refer your best client to this person? Would you refer your nan or your mom to this person? If they could buy that thing, would you refer it to them? If you wouldn't, that is not a primary planet. That is not a primary planet. So it's this judgment gut call. Do they appear busy? Not, and you could say busy in a different ways. Do they appear to be engaged? Do they appear to be, if you give them something, do they respond to you quickly or do they ignore you? Do you not get something back for 3 weeks? That's not good, because then if you gave them a good client, then they don't hear back from them for 3 weeks, you're going to be upset. Do they hold a high enough position in their business to make decisions? Are they the decision maker in the level of business that you want to? So if you're dealing with General Electric, you don't have to be dealing with Immelt or Welsh or anybody like that. You have to be dealing with the people that can make a decision, that hold the pen for a checkbook that would be able to buy from you, or your clients would be able to buy from. And then the other one for me in the beginning is, does the person do the same things you do socially? If you're into footy, even if you like Chelsea, do they like the same type of things that you do? Because then do they have kids the same age that yours do? Do they like rugby? Do they like travel to France? Do they like to eat? They have to like something that you like, because Tony Robbins, and I've been through lots of his courses and done all sorts of things, because I'm a big personal development person, and you are the 5 people, an amalgamation of the 5 people you hang out with. So if you are fit and that person's fat, if you want to be wealthy and that person's poor, if you want to travel a lot and that person only wants to stay at home, if all these things don't match up, they're not an ideal primary planet for you. So you'll get your own questions, but I've given you some questions there that you can hopefully apply towards building your primary planets in your solar system. But it's against human nature, but you have to build your why, your stuff first before you can go out and pull in anybody else. Because if you're not true to your gravitational pull, then you don't pull in the right types of planets. But your gravitational pull can change. It can morph. It can move forward, grow stronger, grow bigger.
Awesome. I've taken this other question here before we start to wrap up for this part of the session. So let's run this as a scenario. This one actually. So you've been looking for somebody. You think you've got somebody that matches up in terms of clients, similar interests. You think, okay, this is the right person. You take that person on. You begin to do business with them, but then you slowly begin to realize maybe there's something not right here. How is it that you realize maybe that business relationship isn't working, and how do you then address that?
It depends on how you figured out that it isn't working. But if it's a client that they've let down, or if something didn't work like that, I literally call them out on it and just say, look, Daniel, I gave you that client, and our agreement, kind of unwritten or written, was you'd call them back within whatever. And this is the second time that you haven't done that. And these are my good clients and my reputation's on the line here. So it's okay, as we can still be friends and stuff, but I think I'm going to go over and work with these guys over here at this accountancy practice, at this law firm, at this whatever. And it's nothing against you. I've just got to make sure that I protect that. One of two things will happen. Either they'll go, holy crap, I can't believe you're going somewhere else. I'll straighten up, and oh my gosh, I'll get back on track. And sometimes their brain's in a weird place. Right now, work from home, people are in a crazy place. So you really have to make sure that when you're making big decisions like that, if it's a big decision because you've built and put a lot of effort into it, take a little bit of time, ask the question, give a little bit of prodding. I'm a not 3 strikes you're out, I'm a 2 strikes you're out person. If you've done this, if they've let me down and they've been prodded, unless they have some amazing excuse, I'm done. I can't do that anymore. And I think the biggest thing that I would tell everybody, and my takeaway from this is, a sunk cost is a sunk cost. So that relationship and all the stuff you put into it, it's in the past now, and not in a mean way. You can move forward, you can rebuild, you can do it again. A sunk cost is a sunk cost, and you just need to cut bait sometimes and run, and not say anything bad about them. Just move on.
Awesome. So before we move on to the next bit, because I know there's plenty of people with more questions and we could go on all night, but just for the people who will be leaving us now that are watching on the stream, what would be the final thing you'd have to say to them?
Networking is the only business thing that we do not put on the balance sheet, the P&L, or anything else. We have marketing, we have sales, we have employee, everything else. So if you are going to go out and truly build a network, build a cost in there that you're willing to spend, and reevaluate that as a marketing or sales cost to you, the time that you spend, and a true return on investment. Measure it and know that it's a return on investment, so we call it TITB, time in the business. So don't think that you're going to go to the 1883 club and I didn't walk out of there with 15 deals and 17 new clients. And it's about time in the business. It's about what you put into it that you'll get out of it. So really put it on the return on investment, put it on your balance sheet, your P&L. And as you're doing that, do not sell. People don't, especially seasoned veteran networkers. If you come in and start, even if you talk about my business first and then you go straight into your website, if you go straight into your, I'm done. I might call it naivete, but the people that you want to network with that are like me and that are like Jimmy next month and everything else, they've met 100 of you, and no, not being mean, but they've met 100 of you. So you have to stand out, and you don't stand out by selling me something. So that's it. Don't sell. Build your story. Build people around your story, and go from there.
Fantastic. That's awesome. So hold on there a moment. Everybody that's with us here on the Air Meet, you guys hold on. We're going to get going on some more questions. We're going to have that kind of valuable network time, help you to start to really build those connections, and be part of this awesome community. To everybody that's joined the live stream on YouTube, sadly, this is where we end with you tonight.
Daniel, so I would like to point out that 1883, 20 quid a month to find one valuable connection in a year, it's a no-brainer. Put it on your even if you're just starting out in business, if you can't afford to, if your marketing budget doesn't include 20 quid, then go get a job. I'm not being mean, but it's a cost of doing business, a cost of building your future empire. That's why the price point's there, and that's why you've got to have it. You've got to have marketing, networking budget in there, and that's why I believe in this.
100%. So make sure that when we're back for Jimmy Leach, start of March. This isn't where you leave us. You're with us for the rest of it. You're here to make things happen. So hopefully see you all. As I said, you can go over to birminghaменterprisecommunity.co.uk, sign up to 1883. You've heard it from the man here. So let's do it. Thanks to everybody on YouTube. We'll see you soon.